Welcome to the Orange Juice Breakfast.
Where you bring your own orange juice this morning.
I woke up this morning and realized I didn't have any orange juice.
No, I just have my water.
I'm drinking tea.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Look at Kay Castillo with the proud social worker background and a visitor in the screen.
Good
Welcome,
morning,
everyone. Good morning.
Hope everybody's well.
Doing great. How are you doing, Wayne?
Oh, I woke up this morning. It's all positive, buddy. Hope you are.
Yeah, doing fine. That's my colleague, Wayne Sasser, everyone. I'm Greg Meyer. I'm a state representative from Orange County. Wayne is a state representative. You're from Stanley County, Wayne, is that right?
Yes, sir. Thank you
Right.
very much.
I'm hosting this Orange Juice Breakfast this morning along with Valerie Arendt from the North Carolina chapter of the National Association of Social Workers. You want to say hi, Valerie?
Yeah, welcome, everyone. It's so good to at least see some of your faces and see your names on this early Saturday morning. As Greg said, I'm Valerie Arendt. I'm the executive director of the National Association of Social Workers North Carolina chapter. We're the sponsors, one of the sponsors of this event, in addition to you all. And I'm also the chair of the North Carolina Coalition on Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Substance Use Services. So I'm so glad that you all are here for this important topic today. And as Greg said, you know, this is the OJ reception, and where you bring your own drinks.
Next
So welcome.
year,
I'm going with high test caffeine.
Nice. Welcome, Linda.
Welcome. Thank you guys for doing this and for everybody getting up so early on a Saturday morning. But as we have noted before, we get to do it in comfortable clothes and we don't have to worry about traffic. But hopefully next year in person.
Linda, you're on the planning committee, right?
I am.
Do you want to kick us off this conversation this morning and just give people a little preview of what we're going to have in the main session today?
Well, it's we've built the program around 3 pillars: access, treatment, and long-term supports. And a little bit of a different format. We'll be doing the Q&A sessions after the presentations. There'll be a topic speaker. Then 2 of our elected representatives will be speaking. And then Rose Hoban will do the Q&A. So we'll start off with the access. And then Victor Armstrong will be our speaker for the effective treatment. And then, and I can't pronounce his last name correctly. Some of you know him. The gentleman from the UNC Center for Excellence, Tav, is it?
Tava Mahadevan.
Thank you so much, Julie. It's why we back each other up, right? But first we'll be doing some awards. We have the Paul Luebke Award will be presented to Senator Burgeon. He's not able to be with us. He's coming in by video, but Representative Carla Cunningham will be making that award. And then we'll be honoring Verla Insko with the Lifetime Achievement Award. And then our keynote speaker is our brand new Secretary of DHHS, Cody Kinsley. And when I was writing the comments for Mike Woodard, our MC, he's used to my corny jokes, and I always tell him just skip it if it's too bad. But there were 2 things I said. The first time, he gets to acknowledge Cody as Mr. Secretary. So, but it's going to be a good morning. Always a lot of thoughtful topics come up. And I look at this as our launching point for the next 12 months. Work to do. All right. Have fun.
Fantastic. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
Appreciate all your hard work and to the rest of the planning committee. During this OJ reception, we this is an informal chance to interact with people before we get into the formal program. It replicates what usually happens at the in-person mental health breakfast, where we have about an hour before we sit down together to talk with each other. If you have questions, if you're something you want to talk about, feel free to put it in the chat. But otherwise, Valerie and I are just going to be calling on people basically. Valerie, is there somebody you wanted to call up and get started with?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. I see lots of familiar names and a few faces of folks who've turned on their cameras. I know my counterpart, Kate Castillo, who is our Director of Advocacy, Policy, and Legislation at the National Association of Social Workers, is on. I also see Ashish George from NAMI, North Carolina. So again, just welcome. I see, again, lots of familiar faces. So feel free to unmute and say hello if you want to do a shout out for your organization. Ooh, I see Senator Mike Woodard has just joined us. So yeah, feel free to, I think it'll be a rush to unmute and just say hello and maybe a little bit about your organization or where you're from. That would be helpful.
Hi, everyone. As Valerie said, I'm from NAMI, North Carolina, where I'm the Public Policy Director. I appreciate everyone who's helped put this together. I started in January 2020, so I was able to attend only one of these in person, but that was a very enlightening event where I got to meet a lot of people for the first time. Today, I hope one issue that we hit a lot is the Medicaid rolls, which are likely to decline later this year because they'll be audited basically. So in Utah, if you guys have been following what's been going on there, they were aware of this ahead of time and tried to prepare people and soften the impact of it. And it's still caused a lot of pain, and people will lose benefits. Unfortunately, it looks like if Utah is a guide for what's going to happen in North Carolina. But I hope we're preparing people, and I hope we're trying our best to come up with some strategy. It's a difficult issue, but that's just been on my radar and NAMI North Carolina's radar. Alongside Medicaid expansion, which is a goal, we now have to contend with Medicaid contraction, it seems like, which is a lamentable loss. So yeah, that's just a point I'd like to raise. And again, thank you for everyone for joining us today, and thank you to the organizers.
Thank you, Ashish. And it looks like we have Representative Verla Insco, who will be honored later today. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Verla. Let's call up my colleague Wayne Sasser, who said hello earlier this morning. Wayne, you're a pharmacist, so you certainly have some overlap in your work with mental health. What brings you to the breakfast this morning? Why are you here to listen in?
Well, I'd appreciate the invitation. Don't think I came 2 years ago, so I will just say I'm new to the team. We've spent, and part of my little presentation that you'll hear later, which will be very brief, I might add. We spent like 8 hours last week in joint oversight committees talking about all health issues. And some of the biggest topics were mental health and Medicaid expansion. So I guess that's where my expertise comes in, being the only pharmacist in the North Carolina legislation, and being lucky enough to do this for 47 years. So hopefully I've learned a few things and we'll have some valuable input. And I'm gonna listen a lot, so I'm sure I'm going to be educated today. But this is such an enormous need and task. I mean, we understand the problem. I'm not sure we understand all the solutions. So I'm looking forward to being educated today, as well as hopefully having a few insights to add to what I think we can accomplish and what we need to accomplish. And I'm ready to get to work and get it done. So if I have any strong points, I hope it's my work ethic. So I'm all in, guys, just whatever I need to do.
I'm glad you're here, Wayne. This is always a engagement where I always do a lot more listening than talking and learn a lot from the people who attend. I do want to ask you one follow-up question. As a pharmacist, I don't think we've ever heard from a pharmacist at a mental health breakfast that I've been at before. How would you describe the way that your pharmacy work overlaps with mental health?
Well, I mean, in the pharmacy world, we deal with everybody's health issues, and, you know, where it's heart disease, you know, where it's diabetes, or mental health. And we have an enormous amount of those patients now. And another little thing I'm going to talk about, we, okay, all of us, because we all voted for it, we passed House Bill 96 last year, and Governor signed it into law. And one of the things that's in that bill is the ability for pharmacists to administer long-term injectables. Of course, now we do vaccines, you know, by the thousands and stuff. So now we can get those patients that really don't want to go to the doctor's office because they don't want to sit in a doctor's office and think everybody's, I mean, you know, it's a mental illness. So that's not I don't even like to go to the doctor's office. Now, I'd rather go to the doctor's office than the dental office, but no, they normally come in the drugstore where it's to get their Tylenol or their oral medications or whatever. So by allowing them to come in the drugstore and get their long-acting injectable mental health medications, I think it's going to have an enormous effect on how we treat the mental health community. And once you get that shot in their arm, you don't have to worry about them waking up 3 days from now and saying, oh, I feel good this morning, so I don't think I'll take my pill, you know? So a lot of those type things, and we'll continue to work. And we're going to talk a little bit about access to care and you know, some of the obstacles that we've created. And I just call them turf wars, but we all know what we're talking about. You know, one profession doesn't want anybody stepping on their toes and stuff. But I think we've got a great opportunity, and especially with events like this, where we all get on the same page and we work for the patient and we do the right thing. And so I'm just encouraged to and feel honored to be here this morning. So
Thank you for being here, Wayne. Thank you.
thank you, Greg.
Valerie, who else do you want to bring up?
Sure. Let's see. So I see lots of amazing names from organizations all over the state. If you have not renamed yourself so we can identify who you are, please feel free to do that. If you need some assistance, let me know. It looks like we've got some folks from some MCOs. We've got some folks from organizations across the state. So it's hard to call on anyone because everybody is so critical to the work that we're talking about today. So anyone who just wants to do a shout out for their organization and talk a little bit about what they're hoping to hear today, I will open the floor.
Hi, Valerie. I'll introduce myself. I'm Troy Hildreth. I'm the CEO of WellCare.
Troy, yeah.
North Carolina.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here. You know, hearing the topics about Medicaid expansion obviously is something that we're monitoring closely. Ashish talking about redetermination, a lot of concerns about how that's going to be executed. And then the great work that many of these organizations this morning that are represented are doing. We look forward to partnering with you all. So I'm glad to be here. You know, my intent is just to listen and learn, and I appreciate you having us.
Good to see you, Troy. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for joining us.
And if folks have questions or anything that I can address from a Medicaid managed care perspective, you know, feel free to drop something in the chat.
Thank you so much for being here today. I know that's a lot of our partners and our providers and client populations have been working hard to make sure that this rolls out smoothly as Medicaid transformation, the standard plan rolled out last year, and as the tailored plans will be rolling out at the end of this year. So thank you so much for all that you're doing to ensure that North Carolinians have the coverage that they need. And as Ashish mentioned earlier, as we continue to advocate for Medicaid expansion. So again, anybody else, feel free to do a shout out for their organization. I welcome the opportunity.
I think Kimberly was going to say hello.
Hi, I'm Kimberly. I'm from the North Carolina Occupational Therapy Association. We have Valerie Fox, our president, is here as well. And then Megan, our mental health special interest section. And we represent North Carolina occupational therapy practitioners throughout the state of throughout the state. So occupational therapists and occupational therapy assistants. And we're here to just represent mental health and our promotion for well-being, as well as learning more about Medicaid expansion. And we're looking forward to the breakfast from 9 to 12.
Thank you so much, Kimberly, Megan, and Valerie for being here today.
Valerie, can I ask a question, a follow-up question? I'd love to know how they incorporate the mental health aspect into the OT process.
Sounds like that's all you, Megan. And Valerie.
Yeah, I was going to say, OT, when we were founded, we actually started it in mental health. That was kind of where our roots lie. And it basically is thinking about how somebody has to be engaged. They have to be able to participate and perform in their life. And that's what's important to health. So whether it's a physical disability or a mental health issue or an emotional crisis, we kind of address whatever is getting in the way of their ability to perform in their life. And so we truly believe, we've been excited over the last few years to get involved more with behavioral health, because we truly believe that, especially with the integrated care model, we can make a lot of difference in psych rehab and functional skill building to help somebody live to their fullest potential.
Terrific.
Excellent. Thank you.
That makes sense to me. My best friend from childhood is an OT in San Francisco. He works with mostly with adolescents, and I've learned from him and been surprised, even as a social worker, been surprised at how much his OT work with adolescents really is around kids who have mental health issues that overlap with other issues. And I mean, he really has to do it all. He is a multiple form therapist.
Yeah, we really focus on function. That's kind of our bottom line. What a person wants to do during the day, any day, and what are the barriers to doing what they want to do. So it really does work with, we can work with anybody, essentially.
And I would like to add, as being with Club Nova, occupational therapists are just, they work beautifully in our model. It's very hands-on, real world, practical ways of working with people.
Thank you, Karen.
Well, I just think it's so encouraging that we're really promoting whole person approaches.
Absolutely, for sure,
Yes.
Linda. We're going to have a special guest in about 5 minutes. Josh Lozoff is going to be here to do a little magic show for us in 5 minutes. But before Josh joins us, I wanted to give my colleague, Representative Verla Insko, a chance to say hello. Verla is receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award today. Congratulations, Verla. You want to say anything this morning? You're on mute, Verla, so take your mute off.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you very much. It's really good to be here. And I have many, many happy memories of attending these breakfasts for many years, and the Orange County the orange juice reception. And to have gotten to know you. And I want to just put in a plug for Wayne Sasser. He's really stepped up for mental health, and he's got is interested in the issue. And so I think it's really important to get to know him really well. And he'll be around for a good while and attending these breakfasts on my behalf. And I look forward to joining you as a citizen and an interested party in the future years. But I'll be around. Thank you.
Thank you, Verla, and congratulations again.
Thank you for your service, Representative Insko. Your service and your time and talents and voice have been invaluable to North Carolina. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I have learned so much. So I say every year that I've everything that I know that's worth knowing, I learned it by doing it wrong the first time. That's the title of a book I'm going to write. So
Looks like we also have Representative Rosa Gill has joined us.
Is there anybody else who wants to introduce themselves or their organization? We've got about 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yep.
Hi,
Well,
good morning.
Good
Hi,
morning. Go ahead.
hi, good morning. I'm Rob Robinson. I'm with Alliance Health, and we cover Durham, Wake, Johnston, and Cumberland counties. And then we just recently added Mecklenburg and Orange. Excited to be here this morning. We look forward to the opportunity that the Taylor Plan presents us, that we'll be going live in December. We think it's the right thing to do for the people with the greatest needs. Along the lines with Troy, probably our biggest challenge has been and continues to be services for people who are uninsured or underinsured. Medicaid expansion will certainly help in that regard. So thank you for having us. I look forward to the day.
Thanks for being
Thank
here,
you,
Rob.
Rob.
It sounded like Representative Gill wanted to say hello.
Yes, I just wanted to say hello. Good morning. This is my first mental health breakfast with you all, and I'm looking forward to it, especially since we are talking about it and people are dealing with it and accepting it as an illness that we need to really address.
Thanks for
Greg,
being
I
here,
held
Rep.
back since y'all are going to hear me most of the morning today, but I can't let all you House members get the last word in here without at least saying something. So anyway, but it's great to see my House colleagues, great Greg Meyer, Rosa, so good to see you. My good friend Wayne Sasser, we were on a field trip earlier this week, and Wayne, thank you for your help so much on our life science work. And of course, the incomparable Verla Insco, who we will miss dearly. And Verla, if you've gotten things wrong before you got them right a few times, you must have gotten a lot of things wrong, because you have gotten so many things right during your legislative career. And while someone may take your House seat, no one will ever fill your shoes. So thank you. I just wanted to make sure to say that.
Thanks.
We mentioned a few times in our conversation this morning, Medicaid expansion. And I'm happy to say that Senator Berger asked me to serve on the Medicaid Expansion Committee, and I know Wayne is serving with me as well. So I hope we began our work, a couple of weeks ago now. We have a number of meetings scheduled, and we're having great conversations. So as we move into developing North Carolina's solution for expanding access to health care, filling the coverage gap, and expanding Medicaid, I hope you all will stay in touch with us, those of us who are serving on the committee, and as well as your local senators and representatives, so that we can have that input, including behavioral health in our Medicaid expansion is so critical. I see so many great service providers here. You all know how critical that is to providing the services and serving a huge part of North Carolina's population. I love the program. If you haven't seen the program for today's breakfast, all the elected officials who registered are listed there with their contact information, address, email, phone number. So a great way for you all to stay in touch with us. And as I said, Wayne and I serve on the Medicaid Expansion Committee, but I know Rosa, Verla, Greg are happy to hear from you. And since we talk often, you'll share all that good stuff with us. So Greg, thanks for letting me put the plug in for the Medicaid expansion work that we're doing.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. Good to see you this morning. And Valerie, I think it's time to introduce our special guest.
It sure is. I'll let you take it away, Representative Meyer. Thank you all so much for being here this morning, and we look forward to seeing you the rest of the morning.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's not on camera yet, but I'm hoping he'll be ready as we introduce. We have with us Josh Lozoff, who I'm very proud to be an Orange County resident, so a constituent of mine and a friend, and someone who has done magic for my family via Zoom. After I saw him here last year via Zoom, I'm gonna go grab my 7-year-old Sky so she can watch again and turn it over to Josh so we can have a little entertainment and warm us up for this morning. Good morning, Josh. Thanks for being here.
Our performer has been sharing magic around the world for over 15 years.
To me, mystery are these moments of amazement and wonder. And my show is called Life is Magic because these opportunities to have these moments of amazement aren't just at a show, but a lot of the time in life, we take it for granted.
If he looks familiar to you, it may be from his years as an actor on shows like Cheers and movies such as Clueless.
What happened to the August 28th files? What? Mel wanted them tonight. There were twice as many. Hey, Ma.
Gino, what are you doing here?
Well, Ma, I was thinking about all that stuff you said, about making Grandma happy.
The secrets of magic are why magic creates such a feeling of joy and amazement in people. And why does that make us turn to the person next to us and say, did you see that? Why does it make us want to connect with people?
My mind was blown. I couldn't believe what I saw.
Please welcome Joshua Lozoff.
Good morning, everybody. It is really great to be here. It's really an honor and a treat. And I'm beaming to all over the world in the last couple of years through this strange new times that we find ourselves in. But I'm local. This is very near and dear to my heart. I'm local. I'm right here in Orange County, as Greg mentioned. And I have a 7-year-old son. Here's a picture of our family right there. There's my son, Joey, my wife, Melissa. And we have already needed and been very grateful at the mental health services here in this county. And we expect to continue to learn more and use more as Joey gets older. And so I'm very grateful that you're here and that there's the interest at the legislative level in having strong mental health services as offerings to North Carolina residents. It's I don't get to start a show by having this much of a personal connection very often, so I'm touched to be here. And let's jump right into a little bit of magic. I perform all over the world under normal circumstances and travel a lot. These are not normal circumstances, so I've created some really interesting stuff that apparently works even though we're not in person, because we can all still be connected. So with that in mind, I'm going to invite someone to join me as I show you these cards. Actually, this is borrowed from my son Joey's concentration deck, where I have like matching cards like red and black, and you try to find the mates. I have borrowed 6 of them, and I'm going to invite everybody to look through. Here, let me give you a little close-up view. Look through and choose one in your mind. It can either be the star, or this is supposed to be a clock, or a flower, or a house, or a dog, or a heart. Everyone look through and pick one of them at random if you want, just to hold in your mind. And then Amy Dickey, I'm going to invite you in. So get ready to have the spotlight on you, because I'm going to bring you in there, and you can unmute and say hello and good morning to everybody.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for, not that you really had a choice because I pressed the button, but thanks for hopefully your willingness to participate right now.
Sure.
Where are you tuning in from? Where are you right now?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
In Charlotte. Okay, very nice. All right. Well, so first of all, did you pick one of these? Do you have one of these in your mind right now that you chose on your own?
I do.
Go ahead. Good. I'll take a sip too. All right. Mine's green tea. I don't know about you. I'm a party animal, so I've got green tea this morning. Okay, so you have one in your mind, and I'm going to try to figure out which one. That's like the thing. It's crazy, but we're going to try to do it. Okay, so first of all, tell me whether you feel like you chose it at random, or do you feel like you chose your favorite, Amy?
I chose it, my favorite, I guess, because it had significance for me.
Okay. All right. Okay. So with that in mind, I picked ones that could have significance for anybody, so that's not like it gives it away. But based on us just like a little bit of interaction, because this is what I do, I'm going to say it's this one. I will put this down right where you tell me. But honestly, Amy, which one did you pick?
The clock.
The clock. When you said significance, I almost doubted myself because some of the others are more automatically significant. But I trusted my instinct, and I thought that you might have picked the clock.
Wow.
Very cool. I know, it's wow. But on the other hand, it's what I do for a living. So I'm going to quickly now switch this around. What's wower to me, what's more wow, is when I can support someone else in doing the exact same thing I did of making this connection. My point is, out of the remaining 5, I am now picking one that has significance to me. And even though it feels kind of random, it is not. You have all the information you need to tell us which one I chose. So trust your instinct and tell me which one you believe it is.
The flower.
The flower. When people get it wrong, I don't show you right away because I don't want it to throw off your confidence for the whole rest of what we're going to do together, but I got to show you right away. Very nice. Very, very good. All right, I know, it's very cool. We're going to keep going. We should mic drop and move on to the next trick because that was crazy and it worked and it was amazing. But I'm going to push my luck. I'm going to ask you to go even quicker this time so that it's almost instinctively just you just saying what first comes to mind rather than second guessing yourself. Out of the remaining 4, quickly, tell me which one this is.
The dog.
And?
House.
And this one.
Heart.
The heart. Okay, by default, you've chosen me to be the kind of person who would leave the star for last. It's kind of a choice in the sense that it is the last one eliminated. And I absolutely did. I don't know how you knew it about me, but I always leave the star for last. Also, and I'm getting chills about to show you this, you nailed it 100%. That was amazing. I'm gonna go gallery so everybody can give you massive applause for that. That was so cool, Amy. Thank you very much for participating. I'll let you go back to the gallery now, and good morning to you. Very good. All right, let me gather these up. Oh, man. I know I'm supposed to stay calm and cool because I'm the one running the show. I'm the magician, but that was so cool. That was so neat. All right, so as I mentioned, I tour a lot, and I traveled actually on March 12th, 2020 was my last in-person show before things are now slowly starting to happen again. So I came home to my family, and just because I can, I'm gonna just show you again, just because I have the technology and the family pride. And I had some time on my hands before I started doing the virtual shows. And one thing I did with that time is I took a deck of cards. I call this isn't a regular deck of cards. It's a full deck, but it's my pandemic deck. And what I mean by that, it's the cards that when I had a lot of time on my hands, what I did with this deck is I named all the cards in the deck. And I mean, I literally gave first names to all the cards. There's a Sophie and an Amir and a Lyle, Emil. Every card has a different first name on it, just like every card has a different identity. And so with that in mind, I think Valerie, even though you're running the show, just to be clear, we will clarify in a second as I bring you in. And it looks like you have a special guest there with you. You can unmute and say hi.
Good morning,
Hello.
everyone. You want to say hi?
Good morning. Hi. Valerie, just to be clear, you have no idea, you didn't know you were going to be called on. You don't know what's about to happen. Okay.
I did not. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for participating. I have my pandemic deck with all these names on it, and I'm going to ask you to make a choice in a second. So when I was describing the deck, I also should just tell everybody that I don't know why I picked the names, but I know it wasn't random. Like when I named the Ace of Spades, I named it Theo. I don't know why. It just seemed like the right name for the Ace of Spades, Valerie. Oh, Queen of Heart is another great example. Sam. I don't even know a Sam. It just was the right name. So I trusted my instincts, and now you're going to trust your instincts, Valerie. So in a second, I'm going to ask you to choose a card. Any card in the deck other than, let's say, the Queen of Heart or Ace of Spades, because I've already been talking about them. Other than that, you can just let one come to your mind after you do one more thing, which is what's called a grounding breath. I'm going to have you, it's a way of checking in with ourselves. So I'm going to have you in a moment take a nice deep breath in, the shoulders go down, it'll connect you to yourself, and on the out breath you'll call out any card in the deck and it will come from some connected space, if that makes sense. Okay?
Sure.
Okay, so we are ready. That's all there is to this. So Valerie, take a nice deep breath in and name any card in the deck on the out breath now.
4 of Hearts.
4 of Hearts. All right. And as I look for the 4 of Hearts in my pandemic deck, I'll just ask you one more question. There it is right there. Did it feel random to you or did it feel right?
It felt right.
That's really good to hear, and it doesn't surprise me because of what I'm about to show you. And then the final question is to find out what name I chose for the 4 of Hearts when I made the pandemic deck. We know it's not Theo or Sam because I told you there's only one name per card. We can also rule out any of these names. It's not going to be Yuki or Del or Hans or Jamal or Beth or Lay or any of those names, or Sophie, Amir, Lyle, Lily, Stuart, Pablo, Will, Andre, Eva, Austin, Laura. None of those names. Valerie, none of those names were right for the Four of Hearts. There's only one right name for the Four of Hearts, and it was the reason why you chose it in the first place, even though you're not consciously aware of it. The Four of Hearts.
Wow, that is impressive.
Woo! Massive applause for Valerie. That was so good.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. I will let you go back to the gallery for just a couple of minutes. I know you're working hard to run this whole program this morning, and I will gather those out of the way, and we'll try another little connection thing. I have a pad of paper, and this is a weird one for me. This is one that I never even did. This is the first thing that I actually created for Zoom, because in person it doesn't work. People tend to get a little bit self-conscious standing up on a stage with me, and this relaxing and trusting yourself, like Valerie just did, sometimes is more natural, more conducive in this environment, because we're all relaxed, we're in a comfortable space, we don't feel quite in the spotlight in the same way. So with that in mind, in a moment, I'm going to try to influence one person to pick a number between 1 and 20. And I also, this is my pad for February. I've tried this 11 times before in this month. So whoever I pick right now will be the 12th person that I will try to influence in the choice in the month of February. And whatever choice they make, I'll put a sticker on that page. So if they pick number 1, I will put a sticker on page number 1. Okay, so with that in mind, let me look around and let's see, Linda Foxworth, if you're willing, I'm going to bring you into the spotlight in just a second. You can unmute yourself as I bring you in to participate with me. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
All right, are you ready? Are you willing for me to try to send you a number between 1 and 20 in just a second?
Sure.
Okay, that's good. Because it's already done. The explanation that I gave, which I watched you in the gallery pay attention to, the explanation I gave was most of the influencing. I will just say a couple more things, just to be clear. Just to make it, I will say, which is that the 11 people this month that I mentioned I've tried this with before you, Linda, they've all gotten it right. No pressure, but I just want you to know that you will be the 12th person, and we'll see if I can keep a perfect record. So I've got the sticker ready to put on whatever page you choose, and I've got the pad ready where I keep track of the choices in February. And now I'd like for you to name any random number between 1 and 20 now.
11.
11. And did that feel like it just came, did it feel random to you, or did it feel right? Same question that I asked Valerie.
All right.
It felt right. All right. All that's left to do is go to page 11. As I mentioned, I put up stickers on each page. In all this time, as you can see, there's no stickers on number 1. No one has ever picked number 1 or number 2 in this whole month, or any of these other numbers. And you didn't either. You picked number 11. So all that's left to do is turn to page 11 and make you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th out of 12 to pick the right number, number 11. Very, very nice. That was great. Excellent. Massive applause for Linda. And of course, for those of you who want to be thorough and be sure, you can see the whole rest of the book as well. That was very nice. Excellent, Linda. Thanks so much for participating. That was excellent. And now the final piece that I want to share with you is one where you get to just sit back and relax. Like, it's great to be interactive, and I really appreciate folks participating. It's also nice just to not feel like you're on the spot. So, and this is a treat for me because I now in person have big crowds when I perform, and I don't get to do some of my all-time favorite magic, which is better for watching very close up. And this is a beautiful piece that I learned in Japan quite a while ago. I spent 2 weeks performing at the World's Fair in Japan, representing the United States at the US Pavilion at the World's Fair. And then after those 2 weeks, I was welcomed by these 2 Japanese magicians, and I spent 10 days studying with them. And in those 10 days, they only taught me one trick, and I didn't even appreciate it at the time. It seemed very basic, but that was exactly their point. Their whole philosophy about magic is that no matter how grand a magician you want to be, a true magician can always make magic with very basic props as long as they make a connection with their audience. And they taught this philosophy to me using 2 cards, 2 coins and 2 cards. And I spent 10 days learning how to do this. And then I came back to the States, came back here home to North Carolina, and I practiced and evolved it and performed, and then I turned it into my own. And so the way we're going to finish my time with you this morning is by showing you my version. My version is a little different. I add 2 more coins, and I take away one of the cards and the other card. We now have 4 coins and 2 hands. What I first showed you took me 10 days. This took me 10 years, so I hope you like it. Thank you very much. Little magic to start the day. There's magic everywhere. My show, as some of you know, I'm going to be performing at the Arts Center in the fall. I get the Carrboro Arts Center brings me in from time to time. And the last time I did a show there, I called it Life is Magic, because as you all know, hopefully, but we all need a little reminding, even a magician. Magic's everywhere. You know, everything's magical. And I have a little. This is for real. Every time I perform in a theater, in my dressing room, I put a little thing, I bring it, it's framed, I put it on my door. It's the last thing I see before I walk on the stage. The most magical thing at any given time is the person standing in front of me. So hopefully that's a little reminder to start the day. And again, thank you very much for being here. I have a personal reason to feel very grateful that all of you are taking the morning to focus on mental health services in the state of North Carolina. So thanks very much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, and cheers to you all.
Thank you, Josh, for being here with us this morning, giving your time and your interest to the Legislative Breakfast on Mental Health. Once again, it's great to have you back with us. We really appreciate it. Valerie, thanks to the North Carolina chapter National Association of Social Workers for hosting this breakfast and sponsoring it. Do you want to close us out?
Sure thing. Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you so much, Josh. That was impressive, wasn't it?
Yes, I thought it was
Invisibility spray. That's what she decided it was. So thank you so much, Representative Meyer. Thank you, Josh. Thank you to all of the sponsors of this amazing event. And we look forward to seeing you in a short 15 minutes for our main program, which you all have the link, but I'll put the link again in the chat. That's a separate Zoom link. So again, thank you so much on behalf of the Legislative Breakfast, the National Association of Social Workers North Carolina chapter, and the Coalition on Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Substance Use Services. Thank you for your commitment to the mental health, behavioral health, and support of North Carolinians. I look forward to continue to working with you all over the years to enhance services for those who need it the most. Thank you all so much, and we will see you at 9 o'clock in the main program.